What's up, guys? We are back, and hopefully the microphone is plugged in this time. So let's do an event recap for the last event so we can kind of go through that video. So we opened up a bunch of boxes. We opened up around not around, but exactly 91 of the boxes, so 910 boxes total opened up. And after that results, we ended up spending approximately 1,000 BSLT after all of the rebates, and ended up with 2 small lands and 2 medium lands as our rewards. So we do have to wait a little bit. We have to wait 7 days for the rewards to come out. We have to wait 7 days for the BSLT to be refunded back to us in those ticket forms that we got. But overall, yeah, we spent approximately 1,000 BSLT to end up getting 4 lands, 2 medium, 2 small. A very, very profitable event for me. Of course, it's RNG. You don't know what your results are going to be. Everyone's results will be significantly different. People will open 900 and get, an extra large, or they'll get 4 smalls, or they'll get 3 smalls, or they get 5 smalls, potentially no 1,000 BSLT tickets, and so forth. It's all RNG. There's a lot of variance in these events, and it is gambling. It is gambling for sure, guys. So you're not guaranteed to get anything. You're not guaranteed to, win the event or lose BSLT. It's variance. It's RNG, random number generator. You do have in these events a guarantee, though, if you get 200 of those land tickets, right? So every 200 land tickets was guaranteed to get you a small land at least, bare minimum. So small all the way up to mega was possible on those tickets. So there is some slight guarantees in this. And out of the event, out of opening 910 boxes, we only got 1 lucky NFT jackpot. We got 2 lucky 1,000 BSLT tickets, but we also only got 1 lucky NFT jackpot. And I believe that was the medium NFT that we got, if I remember correctly. So, 3 lucky pulls. We pulled 1,000, 1,000, and then an NFT jackpot out of 90 or 910 boxes. When they do these events, because there probably will be another one, right? So they do a lot of these gambling RNG box events. When they do these events, you have to make sure that you have enough BSLT to get all of the rewards. Like this one required 200 tickets, which means you needed to spend approximately around 3,000 BSLT. Approximately 3,000 BSLT isn't enough, though. Say if you started the event with 3,000 BSLT and you had some bad variance, some bad luck, and you ended using all that BSLT up and you only had 190 tickets. You're screwed. You need to buy more. You need to buy more, and you're going to need to buy at least 20 more boxes, because the odds are you're not going to get 10 tickets in 10 boxes. So that means you need at least 200 more BSLT. So when you're doing these events, you cannot just have 3,000 BSLT. You have to have 3,500 or 4,000 BSLT. You have to have a cushion where you have extra BSLT in case something goes wrong and your variance, your RNG, is really, really odd. Okay? And it goes, again, we don't know. We just speculated that it was around 3,000 BSLT from the prior events. That was about accurate. And then again, same thing this time. It was around accurate. One of my pools, I did need to spend 3,500 BSLT, and the other 2 pools I spent less. It was 2,700 BSLT, and it all averaged out to, again, that close to 3,000 BSLT. So once you open up a whole bunch of them, say if you're opening up 3,000 boxes, there's this law of large numbers, which means it's going to go more accurately to the statistical probability of what it's supposed to be. If it's supposed to happen every 3,000 BSLT, the more that you open, the more likely that your end result will end up being 3,000 BSLT for for each batch. But in the short term, if you're just opening one batch, you definitely could have a bundle that takes 3,500 or 3,700, or you could have a bundle that takes only 2,500 BSLT. That is the random variance. So a little bit of RNG right there. Also, I did see someone in chat say, hey, well, as the boxes go down, the chances to open up a mega get better. That is completely false, because There's no guarantee on any of these boxes. They never said that there was guaranteed to be 1 mega in the event or 2 megas in the event. These are just boxes. They're random, independent events of each other. It does not matter. It does not care if you know, didn't get anything good in the last 10 boxes. It is a random, independent event. The past events do not affect the future events whatsoever. So it's simply like flipping a coin, right? You can flip a coin 10 times and get tails 10 times. It does not statistically change the probability that on the 11th flip that you're going to get a tails or a heads. It's still 50-50 chance every single time to get a tails. Now, if you're looking at it from a different perspective though, if you're looking at, hey, what are the odds that I roll 50, coin flips in a row, all tails? That's a different kind of statistic. The odds of that happening are like 1 in a gazillion. The odds of rolling 50 tails out of 50 coin flips is just astronomical, right? But each independent coin flip is that independent. It does not matter if you threw 49 tails the last time. You still have that 50% chance to throw a tails on flip number 50. So these are a little bit of statistical analysis things. It's hard for people to understand and grasp these concepts because it feels like, there's a lucky streak going on, or there's, some kind of funkiness going on. And so the gambler's mentality takes over. But it is all independent events. RNG is RNG. Random number generator does not care. There could be some streaks in computer processing, but they try to make it as perfect as possible. And it really just comes down to a lot of ones and zeros, X's and O's, right? Pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, fail, and so forth. But yes, RNG is random. It's supposed to be random. And there are some theories people do have that, computer random number generators are not really random. You can check out that stuff. But yes, this is supposed to be RNG. Every event is independent of the other. It does not have an effect. Now, there's a huge difference. If they did say in the event that there was guaranteed 1 mega in the boxes, they were going to sell 150,000 boxes, and there's guaranteed at least 1 mega in the boxes. Now that would change the probability greatly. That would be every time someone opens a box and doesn't get a mega, the next box is more probable to have a mega in it because you're taking out all those failures. So the wording on the events is very, very important. You have to make sure that you read the wording on the events and that you understand the wording on the events. If you don't understand the wording on the events, then you're most likely not going to be, as profitable or make the correct decisions. So, in my opinion, this last event, even though I play on server number 1, the correct decision was to throw every single money dollar that you had at the event, because the event appeared to be a really, really good event where they were just kind of giving out BSLT to people that wanted to gamble. And I've seen some other people's posts, and it seems like they did make money or BSLT profits or land profits after opening several bags and coin purses, or the boxes, I guess they're called. So it seemed like this would have been a very, very profitable event, especially for Whale. I posted some chats in Discord talking about the absolute worst case scenario, like if Whale came in and bought $100,000 worth of boxes, approximately 300,000 to 400,000 tokens worth of boxes, they would have ended up with, pretty much break even roughly with all, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, they pretty much break even. So if worst case scenario is break even, that means the best case scenario is they're going to become way, way ahead. They're going to win a lot. And there was someone in chat that spammed and said they got like 13 smalls and like 5 mediums and like 1 extra large. So I don't know if the guy was trolling or if he really did spend a ton of money. But I mean, I could believe it, right? If I had $100,000 to spend and to use on Archeworld, I would have thrown all $100,000 into the box event. I would have been buying boxes as quick as possible. I would have been buying boxes on multiple different accounts because that speeds up the process of buying the boxes. And then I would have opened them as quick as possible to make sure that I got as close as possible to 200 tickets on each account, and just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Because if it is profitable, you want to do it, and that's why it's sold out in under 4 hours. A lot of people had the same thought process as me, that the event was incredibly profitable and they wanted to get it before it was gone. So, unfortunately, some people that did not get 200 tickets, the event was terrible for them. If you only ended the event with 190 tickets or 180 tickets, you probably lost your shirt. You probably lost tons and tons of BSLT, because you didn't get that land, right? The land is the big value. The tickets on their own don't do anything. They put you in a raffle, so you have a chance to win a land, but the main value of those tickets was getting to 200 so you could combine them and make them into a LAN. And so we are on server 1. We play on server 1. Our character here is quite strong, 16,4000 on server 1. But we still wanted to do the event on server 2 because the land on server 2 can be rented out, or it also can be used. You could also sell the land if you want, but what we're doing is we're renting the land out on server 2. It's a lot easier to rent out the land on server 2 because there's more players on server 2, and then we're also getting dividends on that land that we have on server 2. So I personally play on server 1, but the BSLT is all connected. So it doesn't matter if I earn BSLT on server 2 or server 1, it all goes to the same account. The same thing can be said with playing on the Asian server. You can play on the Asian server or do events on the Asian server if they appear, and then transfer that BSLT over to the American server or over to the European server when it comes out. BSLT is universal, so wherever there is a good deal or a good event, you should be wanting to do it and transferring that stuff over. There are some fees associated with transfers, like if you are going to transfer BSLT from Asia to America, you have to withdraw 2,000 per day, and it takes 10 BSLT to do that withdrawal. So there is a slight fee, and it could take some time depending on how much BSLT you make. If you do get a land over there, you can rent it out, and it's very, very easy to rent out the land on the Asian server because the entire land is all filled up. They just did a major announcement. They said open server number 2 on Asia is coming. Server 2 is coming on Asia. So we'll have to see what kind of events or what kind of things happen. But most likely it means that you're going to want to do some things on server 2 in Asia, because all that stuff will transfer over to server 1 or to USA, to NASA, server 1, server 2. Like, a lot of players will be jumping over to play server 2, at least at the beginning, especially if it's a fresh economy and they have their own auction house. But you have to figure out what are the rules, what are the systems in place, how are they doing this? If it's a shared auction house, it's not as lucrative, right? But if it's an independent auction house, then that means day 1, day 2, prices are going to be astronomical, and it'd be really easy to make BSLT. Also, it's possible to just get a bunch of land over there because day 1, no one has any land, and all the plots are open. So you have to figure out what is the best way to kind of invest in the game, and it's not always as obvious as just throw everything on server 1. I actually, to buy those boxes, I actually sold a couple of my land NFTs on server 1. I sold an extra large land and I sold 2 large lands, and so I ended up getting around $25 to $3,000 off of that. Took that money to go and use in this land event. And so, because I honestly don't have unlimited funds, right? So I have money, but it's mainly in the game right now. And so I need to, okay, what is the best way to use my money? And at this point, it looked like selling the lands, because it's almost impossible to rent the lands, the large and the extra larges, on the North America server right now. Selling those and taking that money and going into the event, and trying the luck, trying to win bigger lands on NA SA2, but also just trying to get that BSLT over there, and it's just better. And also, I'm able to use the lands. So you'll notice that on the map here we have red lands. Those are the ones that I actually sold. So right before I sold them, I made sure that the lease was active, that I had an additional 28 days. I renewed the lease. So on top of selling it, but I'm still able to use that land for 30 more days, because I renewed the lease before selling it, and now I'm sitting pretty on the land and just get to use it kind of rent free and clear for about a month. Anyway, guys, that's what happened with the event. Hopefully this video sounds a lot better. We plugged the mic in this time. Last time we didn't plug the mic in, so that was the problem. My voice is still a little bit hoarse from all the talking. We did do way more talking to my friends in San Diego than I do with you guys, actually, because I like to talk, so my voice kind of just shot. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. There's tons of big news. We'll talk about different videos. But yeah, this is the event, the recap, and good luck. Hopefully you guys did well in that event. Hopefully you got your 200 tickets. If not, learn from the next event, because this event most likely will be coming back in some shape or form. Something similar to this, if not the exact same events. We'll see how many lands they actually give out, because I think they do want to have around 50% player-owned land and 50% XL game-owned land, which means that there would be around 3,500 land NFTs. And as of last I looked, there was only 1,800 land NFTs on server 2. So that means they had about 1,700 to give out. The first time they did this event, they only gave around 500. This time they've given out more, but we don't know how much. They probably gave around, I'd say maybe 1,000. So that means there's still around 700 or so lands that they could potentially give out in the next event. So that's my theories on these things. We'll talk about it later in different videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've gotten this far already and you hadn't, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure you comment down below, too. That's very important. Say hi, anything at all. I'll talk to you later.